Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're actually going to be talking about Hedera Hashgraph, or HBAR, if you will. And as you guys know, I've been talking about HBAR for a very long time. Today I'm actually going to be addressing it within the market by itself instead of doing something like HBAR and XRP. I just want to address HBAR by itself because I think a lot of people are kind of concerned, frustrated, whatever the case may be. And yeah, I mean, let's just jump into it. Let's talk about it. Let's not play around anymore. So overall, when we're talking about this entire market, there's not too much movement happening at all, including with Bitcoin. I understand that we've seen some altcoins, go parabolic a little bit. We've seen, some great, assets given some great returns as well. And, a lot of people are kind of like sitting on HBAR and they're just like, dude, this is not moving at all. What is the problem here? Well, listen, first off, I've always said, don't expect to put $10 in on Monday and have, $10,000 by Friday. Don't ever expect that in crypto. This is not, a get-rich-quick scheme. It might be when you're invested in Dogecoin and Shiba Inu that have these, nice launches in price. But guess what? We're not investing in meme coins. We are investing in solid projects that have the potential to be absolute massive giants in this space. And they will give us great returns this year as well. And when we're talking about these projects, we talk about them in the aspect of comparing the entire market to them, not just looking at one asset. Because when you scroll down here and you look at HBAR, you're like, it's down 11%, it's down 3%, it's doing nothing. But then you look at like other altcoins, and it's like everything's like that. First off, let's go to the 7-day span, right? On the 7-day span, some assets look great. Some are up 30%, some are up 10%, 16%, whatever the case may be. But when you look at the 24-hour, okay, and you look at what's happening throughout the entire market, look at all of these assets are bleeding out. And here's HBAR actually below a lot of other coins, including Filecoin, Comp, Mana, Elrond, EOS, a lot of these other assets within the space. And even on the 24-hour in green, look at these percentages. There's not too many good movements happening throughout this entire market, and that's thanks to Bitcoin. Now, in regards to Bitcoin, I just want to address real quick, why I wouldn't be opening any long positions here or investing right now, buying altcoins just at the moment until we have some validation points. First off, let's check out the closes, right? We haven't had a solid close over 55K since the 6th. That was 4 days ago. We might get a little bit of a rally tonight, have a solid bullish, close, and then also have that nice pullback as we do go into Monday Eastern time zone in the US, because that's when, of course, stocks open. That's when a lot of people kind of get a little bit, bearish, if you will. That's where a lot of the, volatile price action happens. So we might see that nice pullback. Now, what are we expecting in regards to Bitcoin's pullback? Well, I've discussed that a little bit here and there. But first off, let's address HBAR, right? When we're talking about HBAR currently, volume is soaring on CoinMarketCap, but this volume does not mean anything. In fact, this volume, in my opinion, doesn't really matter. Because when we look at the actual chart, look at the volume on the chart. We topped out a little bit at some nice, resistance, and we rejected it perfectly to retest a low, coming down to possibly 19.85. If we break that, we could be coming down to retest an even lower low at about 32.35%. This goes back to this pullback down here at about 30 cents. I have the sweet spot down here. This is where I would personally add more, 30 cents to 27 cents. This is, I think, the sweet spot, right? I've discussed to you guys that we could see a pullback to 33 cents. I even said 30 cents possibly, and 25 cents if you're very, very lucky to get that really nice juicy buy. In regards to the volume, it looks like we are going to probably bottom out around this point, hopefully, and get this nice, pretty much, soaring volume, because this is that nice support zone going back to July 11th. And then we had that nice soar in volume, and we came down and just kind of zigzagged, if you will. When we're talking about volume right now, this is a nice little support zone to bounce off of. We go back to even April before we bounce off of that. We peaked down a little bit below it on the beginning of April, and also even in January, and going back to December. This isn't a crazy support zone, but it is a zone that we retested multiple times. We broke down below it before. It wouldn't be too crazy to see a breakdown below it at this point either, but it's all on Bitcoin right now in regards to HBAR, but the volume looks terrible. The volume looks terrible on a lot of altcoins, actually, and a lot of people are flipping, bullish on XRP because it's up 8.22% on the 7-day span, and people are saying, we're going to $2, $3 now. A lot of people in this market play into the psychology aspect of getting people to FOMO in at the worst times possible. I'm going to be honest with you guys. HBAR right now looks bearish. I've been talking to you guys for the past, couple days saying that it looks bearish. Of course, I've been giving you guys updates as well in regards to bullish long-term aspects on HBAR, but that's just to solidify the fact that those people who got in early are still holding a gem, even though it doesn't look like that. Because short-term price movements don't really matter when you are invested into something as big as HBAR will be. But we also look at the fact that on the short-term aspect, we could be looking at some very good buys to add to our bag. And those buys are down here. This is that sweet spot. I'm hoping to bounce off of this 30-cent point, which would be around here overall. As you guys do see, this is a major support zone. It goes all the way back to even September 21st. Now, in regards to this, I'm watching the Bitcoin pair. Look at the RSI, guys. The RSI looks a little bit oversold here, but it doesn't mean that we can't retest even lower. In fact, it looks like we are retesting this nice resistance point going back to September, going all the way back to July, and we are essentially trading below the resistance points going back to June and going even all the way back to April. So this is bearish, in my opinion, on the Bitcoin pair. There is support at the point that we are at on the RSI. This goes back to June. This also goes back a little bit more, going back to some peaks going all the way back to May of 2020. So I wouldn't say that this is a strong support zone for the RSI. In fact, I would argue that the RSI on the Bitcoin pair has more support going all the way down to these pinpoints here at about 23.96. This would significantly bring us down a lot lower in regards to price action. We could even retest a little bit lower at 28.84 instead of going all the way down here, right? But the Bitcoin pair, I've said this entire week, is the biggest thing to look at. This is the most concerning factor in my opinion, because look at what we broke down below. I actually wanted us to bounce off of this and retest the resistance and have that nice reversal, which I think that we will, okay? First off, I inverted the scale in yesterday's video, I believe, right? And this is where I said on Twitter we could see a reversal, but we still need to retest a low. I personally think that this will most likely be our reversal point at about 577 sats. I think that this is a perfect point where we come up. This is actually technically coming down just because this is a reversed chart. And we'll bounce off of this and have that nice little reversal, which would allow the USD pair to have that nice, reversal on the USD pair as well. This is why we watch the Bitcoin pair very, very closely. And in regards to the reverse chart, this is a great way to look at it from a perspective basis. A lot of people thought that that the Bitcoin pair would reverse yesterday and we're going to go parabolic. No, we will go parabolic on the USD pair when this gets a lot of strength and we break back up into this nice demand channel that I've mentioned multiple times on this channel at about 875 to 923 sats. Don't get me wrong, I still think that HBAR is very, very strong. Sorry about that. But we need a lot of strength to flow in. And by the way, I don't have the volume on this one because the volume is the exact same for these both because they are essentially, just a different pair. It's still the same asset. Now, in regards to HBAR, right? Why should we be expecting these nice lows to be printed on the chart? Well, it's Bitcoin, right? I've been talking to you guys about Bitcoin for a very long time, and it's because we are hitting major resistance up around 60K. I think we most likely will see the pullback happen either tonight after the weekly close or tomorrow. Now, a lot of people are expecting 60K right now, and that is why I think that we will see that major correction happen as well. We've seen a lot of whale volume flowing out of Bitcoin. Obviously, they are expecting something that we don't know about. Most likely, they will say, a lot of people will say that, oh, well, it's just, whale volume of like $300 million. It doesn't matter. It does matter, okay? Why would somebody be selling 300 million Bitcoin right now when we obviously know this is going higher, this bull run? Well, it's because they want to short it. right now, in regards to Bitcoin, this is what I'm looking at in regards to a nice, drop in price or a retest or a correction, if you will. This would be about a 5% drop in price, or at the very low end, about 10, it's actually almost 9%, not 10% overall. Now, this is about $5,100. This is nothing in regards to what we've seen in the past. Okay, just to give you guys a little bit of an insight, the 24th all the way down here was about almost $5,000 in itself. This was actually more so almost $4,000, if you will. But still, this is a 9.34% of a drop in price. Nobody was, panicking here. I mean, they were panicking on this drop because this was a much more percentage drop. This is roughly 20%. Why should we be expecting this pullback? Well, we need those healthy pullbacks in regards to go higher. This was almost, 9% here. This is $4,000, almost $200. Again, this is roughly, $4,000, almost $200. It's actually, look at the price, $4,189 exact. Okay. And when we look back even here, we had, a nice little pullback. This wasn't, a crazy pullback. It was still about 6.80%. And when we look back even here, the drop in price here was about 12.59%. So these percentages in drops allows us to go much higher. The thing right now with Bitcoin, and this is a lot of people they're like, it's not going to, drop in price. It can't. We're going to the moon right now. First off, from that point here was a 22.82%. From the topping point now, we're looking at about 42%, almost $16,700 increased in in Bitcoin's price. This is a problem, right? We haven't had a pullback yet, or a healthy pullback on Bitcoin, which is why I'm expecting a pullback. It would be healthy. It would be what's needed for this to actually break above significant points and actually retest 60K. I know a lot of people are very, very bullish right now. They're saying we're going to the all-time highs very, very soon. Absolutely not. I think that we have this retest before that. And don't get me wrong, I'm very bullish long term. I'm just saying short term, we are expecting a pullback. We should be at least, right? If we don't, the invalidation point of us actually having this pullback would be breaking 60K. Okay? Or even breaking above 58.5K. This is the point where we want to be above, somewhere up here. Okay, that's the invalidation point of a correction down to this point here. Because even if we go that high, we will see a correction, but it will probably be a little bit less. It will probably be around this nice support zone up here at around 55.3K, which is a resistance point, but it will be flipped into support. So overall, when we're looking at this on the inverted scale, again, it's a great way to look at a different perspective. Look at this. You're trying to tell me that right now we're not looking for, a drop in price? I mean, look at this chart. From an overall standpoint, we've always had corrections off of this point down here at about 56.8K. That's not why I'm expecting it, though. I'm expecting it because this looks extremely overbought right now. This looks extremely pumped to the point where we would be expecting a pullback, and that's exactly why I am. Now, in regards to that nice little drop in price, right, because I just showed you guys that this would be about 9.5%, roughly about $5,200. 9%, we could expect this considering the fact that Bitcoin dominance is extremely strong right now, 44.77%. We could expect HBAR to actually drop significantly more in price, about, we're talking, almost 20%, which 20% puts us right in this nice little, sweet spot to enter into HBAR and get a lot for our dollar instead of getting, buying high and expecting us to go to the moon. But in fact, we actually, reject and actually come down into this nice sweet spot. So that is why I'm watching for us to actually buy in this point on HBAR. Bitcoin looks extremely overbought right now. Yeah, sure, we're pumping up a little bit. We're at 55.8K. I think that we will get a solid rally, possibly even close above 55K, possibly for the weekly close. And then we'll probably have that nice rejection tomorrow. I'm watching this very closely. If I am wrong, I'm wrong, right? We're not always right on this channel. We're not always right at all. Nobody's always right. But we are expecting a pullback, and we should be expecting a pullback considering how high Bitcoin has gone without having that nice correction point. And when we're talking about things in regards to HBAR, I'm not saying sell your HBARs right now and short. I'm just saying, possibly have a buy order at around 30 to about 28 cents or 20 even 5 cents if we do go as low as 25 cents, because this would be about a 30% pullback, which we've seen 30% pullbacks before. When Bitcoin did drop, this was a 43% pullback, right? And just to give you guys an idea, this is the 16th of September all the way to the low on the 21st. And when we're talking about Bitcoin, right, the 16th to the 21st is all the way back here. This is pretty much when the bearishness actually started. And when we look at that percentage drop in price, we are looking at about roughly 19.17%. 19.17%, look at that, right? We did almost double what the drop was. So if we are expecting Bitcoin to do 9.43% here, we also have to look at the dominance factors that when Bitcoin was actually correcting here, which is around the 19th. If we go back to the 19th, here is the 19th. The dominance factors weren't even as high as they were. On the 20th, it peaked at about 42.97. So we could even drop even more in price, which would bring us to about this 30% or even lower, depending on how deep the correction is on Bitcoin. So that is why I am concerned right now in regards to HBAR. I'm not bullish right now short term. Long term, I'm still bullish. I'm just watching Bitcoin very closely here, as well as HBAR, as I do think that we could get some solid buy points on HBAR and also on a lot of altcoins, which I would be talking about later on today. So with that being said, I hope that clarifies a lot of things in regards to what's happening right now with HBAR and this overall market. But with that being said, I'm gonna wrap up the video here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys haven't already. Also comment down below if you guys are bullish or bearish, long term and also short term. And with that being said, if you guys do want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. If you guys do want paid content like my exit strategies and all that kind of stuff, you guys could go to my website, encashofficial.com. Of course, you guys aren't obligated to purchase. And yeah, I will be back with a later video today. So with that, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are on this before. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.